Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm doing this after a very long time, and what better occasion to start doing these videos than your birthday month. So this is a learnings video, as you've already seen in the title. I've completed my first year, almost completed. And why I say almost, it's because I've done all the things that are required for you as a PhD student to do in your first years, like your coursework and finding an advisor, getting your office, finding a project that you like and you want to work on. So I've done all those things. The only thing left is this last summer, and then as soon as fall starts, I will be officially in my second year. And since I've completed my first year and I have been in different kinds of grad school, one in the US and one in the UK, I find myself in a good position to talk about my learnings. And these learnings are not just limited to first year, it can be even relevant if you're in your fourth year or third year. And it will also be relevant if you're starting to do your PhD, if you're starting your PhD in fall or you're planning to start the application process and everything. However, I won't be talking about the application process a lot. If you like, I can make another video about that. But today's video is about what are the learnings that I got as a first year student who did her coursework and simultaneously did some research while doing her coursework, because it's not that easy to do your research, especially in theoretical physics. Now that the summer has started, I have been doing a lot of research. So I will share all the learnings with you. And if you think I missed something, you can always mention them in the comment section. There are chances that I missed it on purpose because I don't think that's necessary. But even then, if you think there should be something added to the list, you can comment. So let's start. The first thing that everyone talks about, but I'm going to talk about especially in terms of a graduate student. So that is work-life balance. Why I say work-life balance is important is that motivation doesn't last. You can be motivated to work for the entire week. You can be motivated to even work on the weekends. You can stay up all night, keep working because you feel motivated, but that motivation is going to end. I feel it's important to have motivation, but at the same time, discipline yourself. I always say this one thing to myself and even to my boyfriend when we have some things left from the week and we weren't able to complete it and we try to squeeze in some work on the weekends. One thing that I always say is if you won't take breaks when you're required to, you won't be able to work when you need to. So it's extremely important to maintain a work-life balance where you fix your work hours, work diligently, and take regular breaks. A lot of people have this mindset that a schedule puts constraints in your time, in your day, makes you rigid and doesn't give you time to be creative, to do things that you want to just do spontaneously. Having a routine does not take away wings from your spontaneity. In fact, it gives room to your brain to be creative and spontaneous and make unnecessary decisions without effort. Because if you don't have schedule, the whole day what you're doing is you are trying to complete your daily tasks one after the other, and if you don't have things planned, all your decision making, all your mental space will go towards making those decisions, which could have happened automatically if you had a schedule, so that your brain knows what it wants to do without you making an extra effort. And that leaves space for creativity, that leaves space for spontaneity. So instead of having a fuzzy distribution of your work hours and breaks, I would suggest that you take time to fix your time, fix your work hours, so that your work hours provide you with optimal results and maximum productivity. The next learning is become the source of inspiration that you're looking from others. As a PhD student, it's extremely crucial to have an environment that supports you in a way that you're growing. What I mean by that is, if you're surrounded by experts, you'll think like them. If you're surrounded by procrastinators, you'll be like them. However, the catch is you cannot choose your environment. So what does one do when their environment is making them slack off? Those times you need to remember that you're supposed to be the inspiration that you seek from others. You do that by asking yourself a question. What does a day look like in the life of someone who's an expert in their field? Are they spending their time learning? Are they focusing on widening their knowledge? Or are they spending their time doing mind-numbing tasks? And you need to create boundaries if necessary. Just remember that creating boundaries now will avoid setbacks later. So make sure you're in an environment that's inspiring you, supporting your growth. And if that's not possible, make sure you become that person for your future self. Third lesson is compartmentalize your life. I love doing theoretical physics, but at the end of the day, it's just a part of my life. It's not my whole life. If I'm giving my weekdays to physics, I make sure that I give my weekends to things that I enjoy doing other than physics, like reading, like creating content, traveling. And now that I've started a podcast, I literally look forward to recording a podcast every week, meeting someone new, talking about something new, widening the source of my knowledge. Make spending time doing the things that you enjoy other than your work also a priority. If you are taking time off your work, it does not mean that you don't enjoy your work. You need regular breaks. You have your favorite dishes, right? But if you keep eating them without a break, you're going to get bored of it. And you will stop liking that eventually. And I don't ever want to stop liking physics. So in order to keep enjoying what I'm doing, I need to compartmentalize my life in a way that I give priority to everything that I enjoy doing. And taking time off work somehow has a negative connotation to it. It just means that you are giving time to other things that you enjoy as well. I see so many people traveling with their work, saying, always working, and I enjoy my work so much, I do it on the weekends. There's nothing to be proud of that. If you cannot give your full concentration and full focus to either your work or your travel, you're not winning there. Spoiler alert, multitasking is not good. Whatever you're doing, give your full focus there. If you're working, focus there completely. When you're off work, doing something else that you like, focus there completely. Fourth lesson is planning ahead. Going into anything in life, if it's important, without any planning, almost certainly will result in failure. If you want to complete certain classes, planning ahead doesn't just mean that you finalize the classes that you want to take. It also means that you get the correct material, you get what you're going to be doing in class, and devise a plan for your self-study. If you want to read, let's say, 10 papers in 1 month, make sure you plan each paper asking how you're going to do it, when are you going to do it, how much are you going to do it in every session. And with every step, you look back at your plan, see if it's going according to you, see if you're slacking off a little, see if you are moving forward, and change your plan accordingly. Now, sometimes what happens is you make a plan and you're so focused in completing the tasks that you forget what's the true essence of it. And because you have a plan, you think that as long as everything's going according to the plan, it shouldn't matter whether you're understanding what you're reading or not. It's important to plan ahead, but it's also important to gain knowledge while you're pursuing that plan and see if the plan that you made is a correct way to move forward. So, for example, I have to read 2 papers in 2 weeks. Now, I devise a plan that I will read these many sections every day in these many hours. And after a week, I realized I was unable to complete the paper that I was supposed to. And the next week, I have to do the next paper. Then I don't just start doing the next paper. I stick to my plan and make sure I complete my paper before I move forward. And I make sure to ask myself whether I'm understanding what I'm doing. When you're doing your PhD, it's important to review your literature in a way that you are able to reproduce everything or teach that paper to someone else. So plan ahead, plan to every detail possible, and then if you think it's not working out, don't be afraid to change it. My last learning for this video is working with integrity. If whatever you're doing is without integrity, nothing matters. Make sure you're mindful of your work. Make sure that your step forward is not on someone's head. And make sure you're not selling false ideas. In the age of content creation, when everyone has a mic, everyone can talk, everyone can give their opinions, a lot of people are selling false ideas. A lot of people are selling conspiracy theories. And as a physicist, I feel it's always my duty to be mindful of what I'm doing. I can't really talk people out of what they're believing in. Neither can you, nor can anyone else. But as an individual, we can make sure that whatever we are doing is true, is backed up with facts, it's backed up with empirical results. So these days, like I said, because of content creation, since everyone has a mic and everyone has something to talk about, a lot of false ideas start floating around. An age-old false idea is that the earth is flat. Another thing that has been floating around is something called quantum healing. Just because people are listening to you does not mean whatever you're saying is true. So make sure you fact check what you're doing. Make sure what you're doing is not harming the society in any way. Make sure what you're doing is backed with scientific evidence. The earth is not flat. There's no such thing as quantum healing. Sometimes I find it funny that people are just using these buzzwords to sell their ideas. It stops being funny when people start to believe you. Stop throwing around buzzwords like you know what they mean. Stop telling people about things that have no empirical evidence, and make sure whatever you're doing is fact checked. Don't sell your half knowledge. Make sure you do your complete research. You don't have to be a researcher to do your research. Every day you read or listen to 10,000 things. Before believing or before relaying that information to anyone, make sure you've done your research and make sure you know what you're saying. Just because you have a mic does not mean you need to speak in it. Sometimes it's important to listen, understand, fact check, and then talk about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned at least one of the things that I talked about. And if you have more questions about what I talked about, if you think there should be some more things that I need to add in the list, like I said, you can always comment down. If you have questions for me, comment down them as well. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.